Are you ready? Ready, Tom?
Go ahead.
Yeah, there he is. This
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah, you're right. Do you approve?
Skin side, yeah. You know. Ooh! Did you catch that?
I got it.
Oh, wait. Thank you, sir. Right there.
This is when you know you're beginning to like
Here's
sauce.
a biscuit, buddy.
And this is when it's time for sauce.
I'm doing a hot sauce like people do cocaine.
Yeah.
Wow.
See?
You better call your aunt or whoever right now and get her to send a case. I'm not really sure the history of fried chicken. Like, we were looking at it. I remember that.
I really hate this discussion, by the way.
Right?
I gotta be honest. I hate discussion of the history of
Well-
fried chicken
well,
because
like-
everyone wants to claim that they were the original.
Yeah.
And I don't think that is actually a valid statement because when you look at like the origins of chicken and the origins of people frying chicken, think about it. You have Mexico, you have Africa, you have China, Korea, you have the Caribbean, like
Europe, everywhere.
Europe,
Everywhere.
and apparently, frying chicken originated in Scotland. So they say.
Yeah.
But if you look at the way that they bred chicken in Scotland, I beg to differ.
Yeah.
Because that's just another form of frying chicken. That's why this conversation is so hard for me.
I think you should look at how chicken is made too, like the way it's marinated, the way it's dredged. And I think a lot to me is like, I've heard that, so I've heard of the Scottish version, but I've also heard of the West African version.
Sure.
Which I'm more apt to believe because
Duh.
of the way it's done. And like, you know,
Well, what we believe it to be is done.
yeah, something that's done back in the day in like a huge cauldron instead of a fire.
Right.
You know, and it was probably rendered animal fat.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know, and
Yeah, that's true.
so, you know, being from North Carolina, I'm gonna do the West African version. You're right.
Yeah, baby.
So moving forward, there are different types of fried chicken. So I come from North Carolina. This is a recipe that my mother would do, where she would take buttermilk, she would take garlic, she would take thyme, cayenne pepper, and lemon.
This one right here.
Yeah, and
So this is a dredge, right? Or like
it's a brine, basically.
brine,
Yeah,
if
basically
you
it's
will.
brine.
There's legs and thighs in here.
Yeah. Legs
What
and
do you
thighs.
have against white meat?
I think.
Are you racist?
Okay, white. And white
You got
meat
thighs and-
white meat dries out first.
Of course.
I think that's so it's like when you fry chicken, you start off with the thighs,
Yep.
drumsticks,
Right.
Things are attached to bones.
White meat's quick cook.
Quick cook.
It's a quick cook.
And when like
Everyone has someone in their family who wants breast meat, and
Yeah.
you save that for the end.
yeah, and like most people want breast meat don't want the skin, so I'll be like, you can give me that skin.
Right.
I'll take it. You can put it on my plate.
Right, because breastfeed skin's got a huge piece of skin over
love it.
there.
I'll dip that in some honey or some barbecue sauce any minute.
You put it in between a biscuit with some honey and it's fire.
Woo.
Fire. So this is a brine, buttermilk, garlic, some other spices that we don't have to disclose because it's secret, but it's a solid brine.
It's a solid brine, yeah. That brine actually won me best fried chicken at a couple of spots.
So this is the brine
that
the brine that got you popping in Seattle.
Yeah, got me popping in San Francisco and Seattle. Yeah.
So this was the brine that actually got you to where we met.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
At Bourbon and Bones. Like where I grew up in Texas and whatnot. It's like real food just kind of happens. It just kind of happens. It's not like a thing that you got to like go on search for. You don't have to go on a quest for good food.
For the buttermilk brine chicken, we're gonna do flour, garlic powder, onion powder, dried thyme, cayenne pepper, paprika, and some like secret spices. All right.
Yep. Secret spices. There we go. There we go.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo.
Here we go, yo.
What's the scenario?
What's the scenario?
Who sung that song? Is that Tribe?
I think it is Early Tribe.
Yeah, that's the one. Not Fife Dog, but the other one, the one that died of drinking too much soda. What's his name?
Too much soda.
Yeah, he died of diabetes in his 40s.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Okay, so we got our dredge here, doing some all-purpose flour, herbs, salt, and then we're gonna add a bunch of spices also. So like the dredge is as important as the brine, because you want the brine kind of like soaks in, moistens the meat like so it's not gonna dry out. But I think the dredge is like a lot of the flavor involved, and you see it's not exact measurements.
Right.
That's how we roll in the South, you know.
Yeah,
just like
no.
So, let's talk about the Coca-Cola brine.
All right, let's talk about this.
So
I need to understand this.
My introduction to the Coca-Cola brine was a place called Willie Mae's Scotch House in
one
New
of the
Orleans,
greatest establishments
Louisiana.
I have ever eaten in my life.
And people say that her, you know, I mean, you'll have to look at it, but that place started, I want to say like in the 1800s.
It's a house, man.
Yeah.
It's a fucking house.
And
it's you know what I love about it is when you walk into the place, there's the front of the house. The back room with the bar seating is like where you need to sit.
That's the spot.
That's like where you should sit. Period. If you ever go to that place. So
I lived in New Orleans for about 10 years, and when I first was going there, it was like, I would just kind of get the drags. It was like, you sit in the corner by the bathroom.
Right. But then you got ingratiated.
Yeah, and then, I got ingratiated, and I'd talk to all the waitresses and even the cooks, and like, especially like cooking in New Orleans. You know, if you cook in New Orleans, like you're part of the society where other restaurateurs watch out for other restaurateurs.
Sure.
And like and people come in and it's like, oh man, you cook at like Cuvée, you cook at Restaurant August, you cook at Commander's Palace, and
there you go.
And then it was like you would go in there, and cooks are poor. You'd go in there and you would eat a 5-star meal and not pay a dime, basically.
This is the Coca-Cola joint we're gonna dab out. It's a mess. I know our cooking show is a mess, but the best part about it is
it's not really a cooking show.
Care.
This is a life show.
Right. You know? We don't care. So with this specific form, you want to let them ride out, get to room temperature, get nice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want a cold piece of meat going in the fryer, you know?
No, you don't. You want to get it
or on the grill or in the smoker or whatever. You want to temper your meat.
You don't want that. You want to just do that right there. This is the Coca-Cola, the magic. You know what I mean? We want to let them turn over and get nice.
I'm gonna check the temp on this real quick.
And we want to make sure that they get to just the right dread. Yep.
We're rolling.
But what we do is we take a little bit in here. A little bit of that in there. There's old school. We're gonna do a little paper bag action, just to, make sure everything's properly right. Mikey, we're gonna put him on this tray here. And see, what we're gonna do is, like, the key, I think it's important to understand that the key is to do a nice thin batter on them. Most people like to do, they get too aggressive with it. And that's your first mistake. So you wanna just, you see how I just, set the canvas again? It's a beautiful thing. And then we just, boop, drop those in there again. Let's get some thigh meat in here. Shout out to the thighs of the world. Make the world go round, you know what I mean? Shout out to the thighs. Get some thigh meat in there. Give them a little toss. Boom. This isn't the prettiest in the perfect thing. That's why cooking outside is actually quite appropriate when you're frying chicken. Take a little handful of that. Grab it up. Can you rip that off real quick?
What am I, your butler?
Bam. Yes. And just, it's paper bag seasoned. And then what you'll find is you get a better breading.
What's the temp? Okay, let's move take the shovel and move some of those coals out. Yeah, out of the way.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with Mike's breading. We got 4 legs, and we got 2 thighs, and it's a great start. That's what we're doing right here. Ooh! Did you catch that?
I got it.
Did you catch my skills?
So these are the things you work out in the pilot episode.
Yeah, that's what we did. Cristal, Valentina original, Valentina extra hot.
Did you bring the extra hot, Crystal?
Extra hot here. Extra hot Cristal. And then shout out to the South Side.
Yep.
Cholula is always a standard. In the scale of graduation, this is like senior year.
Yeah. This is
freshman year.
This is like first grade though, right?
This is like high school. And then this is freshman year. This is like when you know you like sauce. This is when you know you're beginning to like sauce. And this is when it's time for sauce. Real sauce. The kind of sauce. And the thing is, I don't like the kind of sauce that takes away from the experience. It should never be that way. And then we have this is the master's degree. This is graduation. This is
so this is
Mike, tell him.
So this is mangoes, garlic, carrot, and onions that I've fermented for about a week.
Yeah.
And habanero is in there as well. At the end, I added just like a touch of vinegar, salt, just like to adjust the flavors. But it's really good. Yeah, perfect for fried chicken.
So we literally have 2 different brines here. To bring it back to the brines, we have, Willie Mae's, it's an institution.
Yeah.
But the Coca-Cola brine, I'm excited for. I know this.
Yeah.
You've basically just put, not to diminish the product, but you've put just slightly more herbs in it, but I know this brine.
Yeah.
I don't know this brine.
Yeah, I've actually never really done this brine, but I've eaten it, and I was like, well, I was looking at some recipes, I was like, just try it out. And the main difference between this, there are 2 distinct differences between these. First of all, it's the Coca-Cola and the buttermilk, but secondly, it's the dredge, because this is a dip.
Right.
We're gonna dip into a batter and fry it. This is a dry dredge, also.
Okay, so this is what we pull out, drop into the flour or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
we're gonna make a dredge, toss it.
Right.
This we're gonna make a batter, and dip it and fry it. So those are the big changes. Ellis is a connoisseur of fried chicken, actually.
You like fried chicken?
He was born on it.
Fried chicken.
So this is what we're gonna do, like egg dredge.
Egg, flour, and oil.
Egg, flour, and oil.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Some people like to do a straight batter dredge, but you can also do the extra crispy, which is
The double.
the double down.
The
Yeah.
double. I don't know if I like the double.
Yeah, I actually don't like the double. I like at Bourbon and Bones. I didn't do the double. I like a nice crispy piece of skin. You bite into it, you can hear that,
Right.
and then that clear juice comes out.
Right.
And that's when you know a chicken is done, is when the clear juice like drips down,
Right.
down your mouth.
Right.
You
I
know?
mean, that's all we go for.
Yeah.
Right. We go for the release. We go for the bite. We go for the finish. We also go for the golden brown. But you know what? You can get golden brown if you cook it too fast.
Yeah.
So it's important. We're going to be cooking around 350, 375.
Yeah. So you want to start it off at 375 because when you throw the chicken in there, it's going to drop down the temperature.
Why are we doing peanut oil?
So, a lot of people don't use peanut oil nowadays because of allergies. One thing,
Right.
I think the saturated fat content might be a little bit higher or whatever.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
But when I first started cooking in kitchens, we did everything with peanut oil.
It's got a high smoke point.
High smoke point. It tastes really good. Like
Right.
we used to do. I worked at this place called the Zevely House in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And we had one of the things that we were famous for was our fried spinach. And we would deep fry spinach. We'd have a huge plate of deep fried spinach.
Well, which is, you must have had a lot of spinach because that shit boils down
no,
so fast.
but it was like really hot and it didn't
Or
boil down.
fries down.
Yeah, it just fried and it puffs up.
Yeah.
So
That's
and
what, like,
then
spinach
sprinkle a
does.
little kosher salt on there.
Yeah, that's all you need really
Yeah.
with spinach.
And
Spinach is the greatest agent for bringing in flavor.
Yeah, but you couldn't do it with other oils. Like we tried it with other oils, it just worked. But like the peanut oil, and it just had that flavor. So I think with like fried chicken or like fried fish, I think the peanut oil you need a good steady heat, and then you don't have to like toss the oil right away. It lasts
No.
a long time.
You know a nut that I wish was not so damn expensive that is so good? Trick question. Let's see if you can get it.
Madrona
Ooh.
almond,
Pine nuts.
pine nuts. Yeah,
That's also a good nut too.
yeah.
But pine nuts, man, damn, dude.
Pine nuts go really good with capers, but you don't like capers, right?
Don't put my business out there. I just feel like capers are just like a small little briny, salty thing. I understand the profile.
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm hating exclusively on them. Like I understand the profile. I understand the value, and I do think that they do bring value to dishes. It's just I don't know. It's like any other thing that's I don't know. I don't think that capers really lemon caper chicken to me is whatever you when people are oh, I really like lemon caper chicken. My first thought is you just really like salty, briny, and sour things.
Maybe that speaks to your ancestry too.
No, it does.
Yeah,
it completely does, dude.
Yeah.
Caribbean, we're not fucking
you
putting
think people-
capers on shit in the Caribbean, bro.
Yeah,
We're not.
yeah. I mean,
We're not. That's just a fact.
I mean, I never had capers until I think my dad made a veal piccata or something like that when I was a kid. But my mom being from the DR, she made great soups. She made this fish stew, which she would get snappers and make this and she did it with a coconut broth.
Yeah, of course, you gotta do that.
And lime leaves.
Yeah.
And but it was this Dominican thing, and so like I said, we were raised on pork, which was
cheap meat, dude.
a roasted pork.
You stretch that shit.
But she also had this amazing garden, and I remember I think my first memory of really tasting something that I loved was, it was probably like July in North Carolina in the morning. My mom's out in the garden and I walk out there and she hands me a tomato and I put some salt on it and just bite into it. And it was like, this just like...
What did that taste like? Because I've always feared just biting into a tomato.
I used to bite into onions when I was a kid too, and I thought they were...
I can do that. I'm
Vidalia
actually,
onions, like those like sweet southern Vidalia onions.
I'm more excited about the onion bite than I am about the... Like, I have a problem with tomatoes.
Okay.
Because I don't... Obviously, they're not a fruit. They're not a vegetable. They say they're a fruit by technicality, but like
They do say
sometimes
they're a fruit,
it tastes more like a vegetable than a fruit. And frankly, I love tomatoes when there's heat against them.
Yeah.
I haven't really gotten to the point where I can appreciate a raw tomato. You know how people eat like a raw tomato with like cheese and basil on some toast?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, meh.
My favorite sandwich, 2 pieces of like bunny white bread,
Of course.
some mayo. You
Gotta
gotta
do mayo.
the Duke's mayo.
Slather it.
I gotta get you some
Slather
Duke's mayo.
that shit, dude.
Salt, pepper.
Yeah.
Salt, pepper on, and then I'll take like a beef steak, tomato, and slice it thick, and then I'll do a little apple cider vinegar.
Okay.
Salt and pepper, some like mashed garlic. Toss that in, and then mayo. Eat it. Tomato mayonnaise sandwich. That is, boom.
No, man, it's not ready yet.
Okay.
This is a labor of love, Alice.
Labor of love. See, this is what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
It takes time.
I think that's why people do it now on weekends, because everybody works or whatever. So it's like when you're in Texas or North Carolina or wherever, you go to like the barbecue spots and they'll be open on the weekend and
With extended hours.
yeah.
Because everyone, that's the thing about this style of cooking is the worst for convenience, because it's not convenient. There's nothing convenient about this cooking. Even from preparing your meats the night before, and if you have kids like you do, I mean, shit, they want to eat.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh no, you gotta wait damn near 48 hours to appreciate that cuisine. Like,
Well, that's the thing about me and the kids is like I plan 48 hours ahead.
right.
So like, I'm making my meal. I'm cooking tonight for Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we can we can do things that are like worthwhile. But still sometimes I just do like a plate of pasta and some red sauce.
Well, of course. I mean, that's what, kids will slip up shit, man. I fucking grew up on hot dogs and macaroni and cheese, in a pinch. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, I'm getting, braised brisket or crawfish etouffee or gumbo or, those things came at different levels at different times. It wasn't, an everyday thing because everyone's working, you know what I mean? But there is something that I believe is, like when we talk about lost recipes, when you think about lost recipes, there's only one person that has the responsibilities of ensuring that they're not lost, and that's the generation that is currently existing within this world, because recipes can get lost all the time, and the preparation style of them can get lost all the time. But yeah, I would say the number one thing with open fire cooking, barbecue, fried chicken, you name it, the number one thing that is being extracted from the art of cooking those styles, right, is simply just working with fire. Working with fire takes a lot of time, takes a lot of patience, takes a lot of effort, labor. You can actually taste the difference between a convection oven and an open fire pit
absolutely.
barbecue.
The job I'm working at now, I run what you call the hearth, and it's basically a fireplace that's about waist high, 5 to 6 feet long, about 4 feet high, where I build a fire, and we have bricks we stack up, and then we just put a grate on top of there. And one of the dishes I do is I roast like carrots, beets, onions, and we do these salads. And like you just like eat you eat a carrot that's been roasted in the hearth. All it needs is like a little bit of salt on there, and it's like it's not like coming out of an oven. It's like this. It's transformed into this whole other thing.
Have you figured out what char does to the dining experience? Like the element, the flavor element, and like.
Well, definitely enhances it. And it brings it to a whole. It brings it to a whole new level. Like we do a lot of things. Like for example, we'll do a ash shallot vinaigrette where we take a bunch of shallots, whole shallots, skin still on, and we just like once the fire kind of dies down at the end of the night, we make it, and then we just shove it in the ash and let it sit there for
straight naked
in the ash, coals around it, and then it roasts it, cooks it, and almost it turns it into a liquid on the inside of the skin.
Right.
And then we take like sherry vinegar, extra virgin olive oil, a little bit of lemon juice, salt, pepper, that's it, and blend it. And it's like, and we just put on some greens with some toasted hazelnuts, and it's like this amazing salad.
Scam likely.
Mine does that too.
Dude, I'm getting so many scam likelies lately. I love it.
Do you answer them?
No, hell no. Do you answer them? Dude, I've heard that if you answer them, it just like they call more.
Yeah,
I've
never answered them. Actually.
Good, dude. Just
but it'd be fun to just like if you have a minute to like fuck with them. You know?
just be like, oh, hello, hey, yeah, I'm actually into like, whatever bullshit.
What's your name? We're like, where are you calling from? What's it like there?
Yeah, like, tell me about your bullshit. Like, do you really enjoy your job though?
Right.
Like, you're in a call center, probably.
Yeah.
Or calling from home, which is great. If you're calling from home, like you're working from home, and it's like cool.
Calls are weird too, because it's one thing about being like in sales and doing like a cold call. So last year when I was in San Francisco, I worked for a seafood company, and I would have to make cold calls, but I would bring in like good seafood, so you had a product that you're selling, that and being a chef, kind of like you had a I knew that the lingo and
you knew what
the
they
vibe,
wanted.
yeah. And but it's still a little intimidating, walk into a place where you don't know anybody and you're just trying to like sell a product,
right?
But
well, because every customer is different, you know what I mean? Even if you know the lingo, every customer is different.
But it's a lot better if you walk in with some live spot prawns.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll get my attention real quick. Yeah. What about this though? Let's talk about. Okay, we got A.
Oh, who is that?
Who is that?
I don't know. I think that's somebody else. I'm not sure who that is.
I got it. I'm gonna go parallel on it.
So I got garlic, onion, bacon, ham hock, apple cider vinegar, brown sugar, Worcestershire sauce, crystal. Basically it. Yeah. I do a ham hock stock and a chicken stock. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like when I knew I was doing collard greens right, black folks are coming in there getting quarts to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like one of my favorite moments of Bourbon and Bones is this guy comes in, his buddy, black guys.
Yep.
And he's like, where's the smoked chicken? I'm like, it's gone. And he looks at me, he's like, I'll be back tomorrow. And he wasn't upset.
No.
He knew.
Because he knows the game.
He knew it was good.
Right.
And he wasn't upset. He was like, I'll be back tomorrow. I was like, be back at 5. He was like, yes, sir. Mm-hmm. And he was like,
these greens are hitting, bro.
Thanks. Yeah.
Just collards?
Yeah, just collards.
No mustard?
No, when I Bourbon and Bones, I used to fold in
Do 'em
mustard
in.
greens.
Yeah.
But
Because you know what? That's a nice move.
yeah.
To fold in the mustard, but you don't do them at the same time.
And my style is I take whole turnips, like turnips,
yeah.
and I dice the turnips and I cook them in. Right. So and then you got the turnips on top of it too.
Have you heard about people who do cabbage with greens?
We're talking about that. Yeah.
We're gonna have to do that.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. Yeah. Yeah, you should definitely do a sweep of the. Yeah, so this is the Willie Mays.
Tastes right?
Pretty damn good.
Pretty damn good, yeah.